Greetings, everyone. This is Grace and Favors Talks coming back at you, trying to get you more encouraged, more blessed in your daily walk. I haven't posted in a few minutes now, just simply because I've been working through life situations that have kept me in the search for God's grace and favor. So I've been away for a little while, but I'm back to give you some more encouragement, to bring some inspiration on these interwebs. I've gathered a good bit of content in my time away. So let's get into this new content and let's see what it can teach us and give us encouragement and inspiration about our daily walk. This first video that I'm bringing to you is from Kevin Betten, great apologist. Love this guy. You should really be listening, following this gentleman on Facebook, following him on TikTok, following him on your favorite social media platform. But great apologist, and I love this video that he brought, and it's actually a rebuttal to a gentleman by the name of Christian Smith, who, based on my little bit of limited research, and I will admit it is a little bit limited, but he seems to be a pastor who also seems to be on a deconstruction journey. He seems to really be trying to deconstruct the Christian faith, and I will post a primer in the description of this video on the deconstruction movement so that you'll have a better understanding of what it is that they're trying to do and how, if we're not careful, they will separate us from the true faith. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start listening to this content, and let's see how this can work and how we can apply this in our own lives.
I don't trust apologists.
That's all good. We don't trust false teachers and pastors who don't read the Bible in context.
I don't trust Eric Mason. I don't trust Jackie Hill Perry. I don't trust Philip Anthony Mitchell. I don't trust Tim Ross. I don't trust Lecrae. I don't trust none of these niggas.
And I don't think any of them trust you either. I don't think that any of the men and women that you mentioned are rushing to your page expecting to see and hear examples of biblical literacy. But I'm going to move aside and just let the sacred scriptures respond to the rest.
I don't trust Megan Ashley. I don't trust B. Simone.
For the time will come when people will not tolerate sound doctrine, but according to their own desires will multiply teachers for themselves because they have an itch to hear what they want to hear. 2 Timothy 4:3.
I don't trust information from apologetics websites like gotquestions.org and CARM.
They will turn away from hearing the truth and will turn aside to myths. 2 Timothy 4:4.
Well, that started fast. So as you can see, deconstruction is basically about they're trying to restructure church doctrine and dogma into something that is more modern, more new. Some people who are on the further side of this spectrum is basically trying to deconstruct Christianity itself and turn it into a false religion, turn it into a false faith. And they're more than welcome to do it. I mean, we all have those moments where we question the pieces of our faith and how they should apply in our lives. I don't think that there is not anyone who doesn't do that, but I think those of us who are faithful will understand that there are things that God will share with us when we move on to the next life. And then there's things that we can understand better when we search the scriptures and read them with the proper intentions, spirit-filled and spirit-led. But I'm going to continue. I'm going to let this play on. We're going to finish it out, and then I'll give you some more comments after that.
They are coming at this from the perspective of Christian apologetics and the supremacy of Christianity.
I also pray that you will understand the incredible greatness of God's power for us who believe him. This is the same mighty power that raised Christ from the dead and seated him in the place of honor at God's right hand in the heavenly realms. Now he is far above any ruler or authority or power or leader or anything else, not only in this world, but also in the world to come. God has put all things under the authority of Christ and has made him head over all things for the benefit of the church. Ephesians 1:19 through 22.
And if you are still getting information from these people, I want you to keep that in mind.
For some people who were designated for this judgment long ago have come in by stealth. They are ungodly, turning the grace of our God into sensuality and denying Jesus Christ, our only Master and Lord. Jude 1:4.
Christian apologetics is concerned with the supremacy of the institution, not the well-being of the people.
Dear friend, I pray that you are prospering in every way and are in good health, just as your whole life is going well. 3 John 1:2.
Let me tell you the problem with getting your information from apologists. With apologetics, you start with Christianity is right, everything else is wrong.
Jesus told him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. John 14:6.
And we need to contend for that.
I found it necessary to write, appealing to you to contend for the faith that was delivered to the saints once for all. Jude 3.
We need to make all of our arguments around the idea that our belief system is superior and supreme to everything else.
Christ is the visible image of the invisible God. He existed before anything was created and is supreme over all creation. Colossians 1:15.
So if you come at me with apologetics, I already don't trust you.
There were indeed false prophets among the people, just as there will be false teachers among you. They will bring in destructive heresies, even denying the master who brought them, and will bring swift destruction on themselves. 2 Peter 2:1.
Because that's not my belief system. I don't believe Christianity is superior to other faith traditions.
We are from God. Anyone who knows God listens to us. Anyone who is not from God does not listen to us. This is how we know the spirit of truth and the spirit of deception. 1 John 4:6.
I don't believe Christianity is supreme and everybody should practice. I don't believe that.
You are following a different way that pretends to be the good news, but is not the good news at all. You are being fooled by those who deliberately twist the truth concerning Christ. Galatians 1:6-7.
We are here for the well-being of the people, and you can't be at peace trying to be like everybody else. You find peace by getting in touch with yourself.
Abundant peace belongs to those who love your instruction. Nothing makes them stumble. Psalms 119:165. And finally, 1 Peter 3:15. But in your hearts regard Christ the Lord as holy, ready at any time to give a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you. Yet do this with gentleness and respect, keeping a clear conscience, so that when you are accused, those who disparage your good conduct in Christ will be put to shame. Love y'all. Have a blessed one.
Mic drop. Mic drop. It was funny as I watched that video. When you get eviscerated by an apologist just by simply reading verses without needing any further explanation, maybe it's time you need to step your game up if you're going to be on a deconstruction journey. One thing that I've learned in my journey as I have been going through my seminary experience is that the Bible is a tough thing to understand correctly in context and to figure out the many communication methods throughout the 66 books that comprise its content. The Bible can be a tough thing to understand correctly in context and to figure out the many communication methods that it uses across the 66 books that comprise its contents. It's a struggle. You have so many different genres within those various books, and that's one of the things that we really need to remember when we're looking at the Bible. The Bible is not a single book. It is a series of 66 books that were written over thousands of years of history that tell an overarching narrative about the abundance of God's grace and his love for his creation, that is man. It tells the stories from the beginning to the redemption, and even the things to come that have been prophesied in the latter books. So you have to understand that not all of this is going to be easy to understand at first glance. And that's one of the things that I've learned coming from my seminary experience. So what you need to do, but some of these things can be easily understood. And I think the basics of the Christian faith are easily understood. Christ died for you. He hung on a cross. He died. He was buried for 3 days. He got up. And when he got up, he gave us the ability to be forgiven of our sins so that we can too have access to God once again. Simple as that. That's the simple way of saying it. And you can understand the rest once you understand that and work and walk and read through the rest of those books with an open mind and an open heart to understand what God is trying to teach us through these multitude of books. But then you have those people who, like Mr. Smith, are just concerned with finding any little thing to nitpick out of it and to take things out of context and making things appear as though they are not. And I appreciate the contributions to my faith that Mr. Benton and several of the people that Mr. Smith mentioned throughout his video as people he had problems with, because they have increased my faith. They have helped me understand my faith better. And I am in debt to them for helping me to see God more closely. But I think Mr. Smith prefers to just cherry pick certain scriptures and allow people to just do whatever they feel is right for them. When God asks more of us, he asks more than just do what you feel is right. That's not what the message of the Bible is to do whatever you feel is right. That is a dangerous position to take, particularly in modern history, in the American society, because we have already lost our way a great deal by trying to be individuals and self-reliant and basically ignoring the core tenets of our faith, to love one another as we love ourselves, to seek after God, to love God with all our heart, with all our mind, and with all our spirit, to love each other as brothers and sisters, to help the poor, to care for those who are sick, to look after the stranger, to be welcoming to our neighbors. All of these things, the individualism focus that we have and that we seem to cherish so dearly in American society is at odds with what God is asking us to do. And while I can understand that there are some parts of religion that can be burdensome, some things that we do as human beings to try to make sense and to try to adhere to what God is asking us, that are incorrect and troublesome. We should not get in the business or the habit or the desire to destroy our entire faith to overcome some of the foolish errors of poorly trained religious leaders and followers. I think that's what the deconstruction movement has taken, what poorly trained people have done and said, and decided to destroy their faith because of that. And we should never, as people who follow the message and the grace of Christ, we should never be people who decide that we're going to destroy our faith just because somebody else who didn't know no better told you something that you shouldn't be believing in the first place. So let us be encouraged to understand what God is really wanting from us in our lives, to seek after Him, to glorify Him, to seek understanding, and to be forever changed by that process, and to be lifted up in that process. I hope that this has been an encouragement to you. I hope that the grace and the favor of our God comes through in this message. And I hope that you will come to understand that you should seek after Him more thoroughly. And I'm more than anxious to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. Please feel free to comment, subscribe to my channel, like the content. I'm like I said, I'm going to be doing more with my videos and trying to get more content out there so that we can walk this life together and do it and live life more abundantly. This is Grace and Favor Talks signing off today. Have a blessed day and may God's favor reign magnificently in your life. See you soon.